In this session, we're going to go deeper into creating your elevator pitch. More tips for grabbing your prospective customers' attention fast. And the question is, can anyone hear you? As the level of noise in the world rises exponentially, the importance of getting your message heard also rises. What's the real problem that most experts or gurus have? It's that no one hears them. No one hears them in the first place. You can create the greatest product in the world. You can have the most amazing information. You can have the most valuable techniques. You can have things that work like miracles. But if no one hears it, if no one gets your message, well, then everyone loses. So what we're going to be doing now is really making the transition over into learning about marketing and sales and promotion inside this program. And we're going to be specifically focusing in this session about how to grab attention, get people to hear you, to stop what they're doing, to look at what you're showing them, to listen to the words that you're saying to them. If no one can hear you, then it doesn't matter how good your product is, because they'll never see it in the first place. So I estimate that you have less than 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds to grab someone's attention. Whether it's a subject line, a headline, a banner ad, or what you say when someone asks you, hey, what do? You don't have the option of being casual about it. Okay, so think about this for a moment. In this over-communicated world that we live in this world where we see thousands and thousands of marketing messages every week, sometimes in the span of a day, where there are more and more companies, more and more corporations that are trying to get our attention, and more experts whose job it is to figure out how to sneak past our defenses, how to reach through all the clutter and grab our attention. In the middle of all this, you have to figure out how to get through, and you have to figure out how to do it in a way where the other person can really hear you. This, to me, is where marketing and sales starts. And this is where it all connects up. And most people are too busy. They just don't have the time to pay attention to things. We've got too much information come in. We've got too many advertising messages coming in. We've got too many people trying to call us and send us messages. We've got too many people that want us to look at whatever they're doing to spend much time. If you watch the way a person reads a newspaper or looks at a website or looks at the news online, you'll get an idea of how we humans sort through information. Another good example is to watch a person sorting their mail. Gary Halbert used to say that we sort our mail standing over the wastebasket, and we separate our mail into 2 piles. There's the A pile and the B pile. In the A pile go all the things that are important that we want to look at, and in the B pile go everything that's junk mail and things we think we're going to waste our time, and usually those go right into the round file on the ground, which is the trash can. So how long do you look at a piece of mail before you decide whether or not it's junk mail and it needs to be thrown away? Right? How long do you look at it? So when I say 3 seconds, I'm actually being generous here. If you watch the way someone scans a website or the way they read a newspaper or a magazine, it's closer probably to 1 second. And if the attention is not grabbed in that 1 second, they're gone forever. And they'll never know how valuable your information is. They'll never know how valuable your product is. So with that in mind, your first words must grab. Your first words and images must literally reach through the busy, confused, ADD mind of the average person in their life and grab their attention. More importantly, right, your message must grab their attention by pushing on their emotional hot button and promising a powerful, specific benefit and result. Now, most of us were taught as we were growing up to be polite, to not be pushy, to not interrupt people, right? To not be annoying. And these are all very, obviously they're really kind of virtuous traits and approaches to life. But when it comes to business and it comes to marketing, we have to throw out all of our preconceived notions, and we have to realize that we get one chance to get attention, and if we don't get it, it's typically gone for good. So if someone is reading a website and you've got one of your articles on that website, or if someone's talking to you in the elevator and you've got 5 or 10 seconds to have a conversation with them, or if someone's reading an email that you've sent them, you don't have time to be casual and to mess around. You really have to jump out and grab the attention. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go the other direction from being polite and you be rude. Some marketers are rude and they do things that I personally think are over the line. They make claims and they show things that are shocking and so forth. And, I don't think you have to go that far, but I do think that you have to figure out exactly what your customer wants, what their pain, what their worries, what their the problems are, the things that they're suffering from. And I think you need to figure out exactly what the results and the outcomes and the wants are that they have, so that you can put them into words, sometimes into pictures, and get them out so that they grab attention fast. Okay, this is not a place where your main focus is on whether or not someone is going to be offended by what you're saying. Your main focus is not going to be on whether or not this is too pushy. Right? Your main focus is on just grabbing attention, grabbing the attention of your prospect. It's also important to remember that out of 100 people that see your message, only maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those people are really going to be good prospects for what you're selling right then. Most of the people, it's not going to be relevant for. So not only do you need to reach out and grab attention, but you need to reach out and grab attention of the right person, of the person who's the best prospect, of the person who's most likely to take out their credit card or their money and to buy what you're selling right now. And if you're not talking to them, right, then you're talking to everyone, and you're probably not going to get attention. You're not going to make the sale. Okay, so out of any group of people, some people are hotter, some people are colder, some people are more qualified, some people are less qualified. We only want to talk to the highly qualified. We only want to grab the attention of those people that are most interested in buying. Now, when we do this, taglines, or these cutesy phrases that people like to use, they're really the enemy. Taglines, in my opinion, have never been a good idea or a useful marketing technique. Words like quality, excellence, results, caring are essentially meaningless in today's world. And worse are cute taglines that attempt humor and only confuse. The only thing people care about is solving their challenge. So you must grab attention with that, okay, with the problem that they want to solve, with the outcome that they want. Okay, so what is a tagline? Okay, a tagline is something like quality and excellence for 30 years, okay, or excellence in customer service, or we deliver results, or we care about our customers. Okay, so these things, they may all be true, but again, unfortunately, these words have been used so much, and people have been using taglines that are ambiguous and meaningless for so long that no one cares, no one's listening, and no one believes it. So we're not trying to create a tagline. We're not trying to create a cutesy phrase that you put after the name of your business or that you use in your marketing so that people will smile. What we're trying to do is sell. We're trying to grab the attention of our qualified prospect and get them emotionally interested, and then get them to make the decision to invest in what we're selling. That's what we're up to here. Now, of course, we've learned how to create very high-quality content, high-quality products. We've learned how to create the goods, so now we can confidently go out and sell. We can confidently go out and make big promises, and we can tell them what we're going to deliver. Right? Because, again, we've created a great product, and we need to do just that. When it comes to marketing, it's not the time to be subtle, it's not the time to be modest, and it's not the time to be sheepish. So, enter the elevator pitch. In order to grab the attention of the right person at the right moment, you must design that first communication like an architect designs a building. By starting with your elevator pitch, it forces you to focus on the challenge and the result that your prospect cares about. It's a short statement that grabs the attention of the right person fast. So elevator pitch is an old term, right, that comes from sales and marketing. And what it basically means is if you get in an elevator with a person and you're going to ride from the 9th floor down to the lobby, and you're going to have a conversation that lasts 30 seconds, you want to have something to say to that person that by the time you get to the lobby, the other person is engaged and they want to know more. Okay, so it could be shared in an elevator. It's the kind of thing that if someone asks you at a party, so what do? You would answer, and your answer would qualify the person, draw them in, and get them interested and make them want to do business with you. It's also the kind of thing that you can use in your marketing. Okay? Once you've created your elevator pitch, what you've done is you've essentially challenged yourself to figure out what your best benefits are, condense them into a tight phrase. Then you can actually use variations of it in videos, in sales videos, in marketing, in follow-ups, in emails, and in all different types of places. So this elevator pitch exercise, right, is going to be an attempt for us to take everything that we have figured out in our other sessions, the emotional hot buttons we've identified, some of the great techniques that we've created, and take that and phrase it in a way that pulls in the attention of our prospective customer. And here's the formula. Okay, so here's a nice little formula you can use, 5-part formula. 4 parts and then a 5th part if you're actually in a live situation. So it goes like this. I help, and then you talk about your specific prospect here. So if it's men, then it's men. If it's women, then it's women. If it's people of a certain different class you can describe, or who can be described by their gender or their age, etc. And then who, and then you describe the specific problem or the challenge that they have, and ideally you want to describe it better than they can. Put it into crisp, clear words. And then you talk about what you help this person achieve or get or avoid. And you talk about the specific thing that's their big emotional hot button. And then what we want to do is talk to convenience. So we want to talk about in a short amount of time, quickly, with a little bit of without hassle, with ease and convenience, and so forth. And then if you're in a live situation, after you've said this, you can ask, do you know anyone who? And then you can do a recap of the whole thing. So let's do an example so that this makes sense. So this might be an elevator pitch that you might use. I help women over 40 who gained weight around their hips and thighs when they had kids, lose up to 20 pounds of fat in 90 days or less. And then again, if we were in a public situation, we could say, do you know any women who would like to lose the extra weight they gained when they had kids? Right? To see either whether that person is interested or if they know someone who is. Now I want you to contrast this with how most people answer the question, what do you do? Right? So most people who, for example, are health and fitness coaches or personal trainers or dietitians, etc., you say, what do you do? And they say, I'm a personal trainer. Or they say, I'm a dietitian. Now, who's that about? Well, it's about them. Okay, it's not about the customer. It's not about the prospect. And it sounds like a subtle difference, but it's not a subtle difference at all. Because if you say, I'm a dietitian, the woman over 40 who gained 20 pounds when she had her kids and would like to lose it, right? She may not draw up the connection between losing the 20 pounds of fat that she wants to lose and you being a dietitian. So what the elevator pitch does, and what it trains us to start doing in our minds, is it bridges the gap. Okay? It closes the loop. It connects all the dots for her and makes it very, very easy for her to understand exactly what you do. And it also has a hook in it. In other words, it also leads directly into a conversation about exchanging value and buying products and services. Right? So instead of saying, I'm a dietitian, what do? It's, I help women over 40 who gained weight around their hips and thighs when they had kids lose up to 20 pounds of fat in 90 days or less. Do you know any women who would like to lose the extra weight they gained when they had kids? Now, this is all very specific, okay, very detailed, unambiguous, very clear language, and it forces the mind to go in and do a search. Think about, just for example, how you would respond if you were talking to someone in an elevator and you said, oh, what do you do? And they said, I'm a dietitian. Now, would you, in your mind, start connecting that up to all the people in your life who could use the services of a dietitian? I mean, do we even know what a dietitian is and what they do typically? And on the other hand, this little elevator pitch, being focused completely on the prospect, right? Not focused, I mean, this doesn't say I'm a dietitian, I'm a trainer, I'm a coach. It doesn't even say at all kind of what this person's career path is, or what their kind of job description is, or what their label or title is. Right? When you say, I help women over 40 who gain weight around their hips and thighs when they had kids lose up to 20 pounds of fat in 90 days or less, do you know any women who would like to lose the extra weight they gained when they had kids? It immediately directionalizes the mind right to these specific things. It's very clear what we're talking about, not unclear. In fact, here, let me just put this formula back up here so you can see. Again, I help, describe your prospect. Who, then talk about their problem and try to describe it in detail. Achieve or get, okay, you could also put avoid here, or get away from this specific result. And then in, with, or without, and you want to talk about convenience here. Quickly, easily, low hassle, low cost, or free. And then a hook if you're talking live. Okay, so do you know anyone who, and then recap the formula. So as you can see, it's important to get to the point fast. So it sounds maybe forward and maybe a little direct, but you must get right to the point. Don't beat around the bush with people and try to approach the problem softly when marketing and selling. What you lose in tact, you make up for 10 times in sales and in actually being able to help a lot of people. So don't be shy about the challenges you solve and the results that you create. And remember, specificity. Okay, so we're going to get to the point, we're going to not be shy, and we're going to be very specific. Specifics sell better than generalities. In other words, lose 20 pounds of fat in 90 days sells a lot better than get into better shape. Okay? Lose 20 pounds of fat in 90 days sells a lot better than get into better shape. Specifics are also more believable than generalities. If I say, I'm going to help you lose 20 pounds of fat in 90 days, that's more believable to the human mind because it's more specific. If I say to you, I'm going to help you get into the best shape of your life, or I'm going to help you get into good shape, that doesn't sound believable because it doesn't give the mind something to lock onto. Okay? We each have different definitions. It's much more ambiguous. So specifics not only sell better, but they actually are more believable. There's a psychological principle that goes very deep here. Odd numbers test better than even numbers, for example. Why? Because they sound believable. Okay? If I say, I'm going to help you lose 17 pounds of fat in 87 days or less, that actually sounds more believable than lose 20 pounds of fat in 90 days. Okay, so I could even up this, the believability of my own elevator pitch by using odd numbers. And you can keep going on and on and on with this. The point being that specificity is more powerful. Now, we don't want to get crazy here, and we don't want to say, I'm going to help you lose 17.3647 pounds of subcutaneous brown fat cells from around your love handle area in 26.3 days. Okay, we don't want to do that because that's just too much. We have to stick within the realm of what normal people say to each other as well, but the more specific we can get, right, the more we can even put a fine point on it. And by using a little bit of artistry, we keep it within the realm of normal conversation and believability. So focus on specific concrete results and benefits that are achieved within specific time frames. This is a big one. Okay, you circle this one, put a star next to it. Focus on specific concrete results and benefits that are achieved within specific time frames. Specific and concrete, specific time frames. So in other words, we don't want to say, I'm going to help you get into better shape. We want to say, I'm going to help you lose 20 pounds of fat in 90 days. When you talk about specific results and benefits and specific time frames, okay, it's believable, it sells better, and it's much more emotionally engaging. It's something that a person can wrap their head around, and it's something that they can respond to and make a decision on emotionally. So the more specific you become in your sales, your marketing, and your communication, the better you're going to do with your sales, marketing, and communication, and the better you're going to see people responding to it. The more you're going to see people nodding their heads, they're going to understand, and they're going to get it. So challenge yourself to be more and more and more specific, and less and less and less abstract. Okay? The more specific and the more concrete you can be, the more believable and the better selling you're going to be. And this is a big theme that we're going to be really hammering on through this program, but specificity wins the day. And then, almost for extra credit, you can take your elevator pitch and you can condense it into what's called a USP, or a unique selling proposition. So once you've created a tight elevator pitch, then take that and condense it even further to create a unique selling proposition to use in your marketing. So start with the extended version, right, the elevator pitch, and then condense. That's the rule. Don't try the condensed version first. So here, based on this elevator pitch that I did earlier, I just made a simple condensed version. Lose 20 pounds of mommy fat in 90 days. Right? Lose 20 pounds of mommy fat in 90 days. So that's the key pieces of this puzzle, all condensed into a short, let's see, what is this? 8 or 9 word, maybe 10 word phrase that I could use as a headline. I could use it in banners. I could use it as a subject line. I could use it as the title of an article. I could use it at the beginning of a video. I could do a lot with this shortened unique selling proposition. And I could, I could also take this and I could just use it as what a business normally would use as a tagline, but now I've got something that sells. Okay, so if my business was called ABC Fitness, which, by the way, I don't recommend as a name, but if it was called ABC Fitness, then your unique selling proposition could be lose 20 pounds of mommy fat in 90 days. And that would be very powerful. Okay, awesome. So really good work. What we've done here, by the way, is we've just started scratching the surface on marketing.